Hey, Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. Wow, day three. And the first half of semifinal one went up to rehearse today. Now, I'm not gonna lie, yesterday definitely felt like heavy hitter day. Today felt like potpourri day. Today was like the day of like, what are they going to do on the stage? We also had a ton of bops go up. So it's like, okay, are those bops still going to be able to bring that energy and life to the stage? It was a really interesting day. So I'm going to first hop in these comments and say hello to folks. Okay, hello, Andreas. Hello, Juan. Hey, Raven. Hey, Valeria. Oop, oop, oop. Hey, Lucia from Colombia. We are really doing it over here. North America is in the building. Well, not North America. Well, the Americas are in the building. Hello, Poland, Greece, folks in Portugal, Renato. All right. The stream is going up. This is the moment. Y'all should share the stream with your friends right now. This is the moment. Share the stream with your friends right now so that we can break down what is basically going down and what went down today. All right, y'all. Okay. Oh, France, Finland, Amsterdam. How you feeling? Amsterdam, are you going to be able to go to the shows? Are you going to be able to get a ticket? Yes. So this is the moment. Share the stream. Actually, I think I was going to try and share in one of the Facebook groups, which I normally do. I normally remember to do that. But, today was like an interesting day. Let's kick off and talk about San Marino. Let's talk about San Marino. So Flo Rida was not there, but we did have a stand-in for Flo Rida show up. And honestly, maybe that stand-in will be there, just to be like backup, backup for things. If it doesn't like really, really pop off, I will say, look, San Marino is qualifying still. The song is so strong. Let me say that again. The song is so strong. And I would also say that I think with San Marino, I feel like the song will just stick with people. It's so accessible and just that easy to sing along with hook of adrenaline. We like fire gasoline. Come and light it up with me. It feels so accessible and yet it also feels really current. And I think just having the stamp of Flo Rida show up is dope. And I think that's also like a dope moment for the Eurovision Song Contest. And some people were like talking about, like, I saw some people like, oh, well, he hasn't had a hit in forever. I'm like, it's Flo Rida. Flo Rida it's not like he's like a one-hit wonder or something. He has like multiple hits. Once you have multiple hits, it comes a time where it's like, I don't even really need new music from you. It's like you could really just do a show and I would get like to me, Sean Paul doesn't need any new music. Sean Paul is actually somebody I could legitimately see showing up on the Eurovision stage. Like, I feel like Sean Paul would totally do Eurovision and I would be like all here for that. I'm not even gonna lie. I would be all here for a Sean Paul moment on the Eurovision stage. All right, let me talk about poor Pablo. Isn't the staging for San Marino a little bit messy? Look, they've got a lot to fix. It wasn't the weakest rehearsal of the day. And San Marino has things to fix. But I think just off the strength of the song and the performance that we are likely to get, I'm just not worried. Like, honestly, I'm just really, really not worried about San Marino in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, I think it's the strength of the song, and I think just the energy that the song will have, but they need to clean up a lot of the camera angles. That's really the key here. The camera angles need to be cleaned up. And honestly, upon second look at the staging, I don't know if I do like what the dancers are wearing. I think I would change. I understand that they have their faces blocked out, which that I don't mind. I don't mind the fact that the faces aren't really there because we want to keep the focus, I think, on Seenit and Flo Rida when he shows up. So I don't need to see the faces, but I do think the color of what the dancers are wearing could be better. You know what I mean? Could be could be better. I would definitely say that. Let me hop into the comments. Okay. Lucia, I think we overestimate Flo Rida's importance for the act. I agree with that. I mean, I think the song is fine. I've actually been one of the people who was sort of like, I don't really need Flo Rida to appear. I would have actually been fine with Flo Rida as just like on the Jumbotron, like in just a moment where he's kind of like the LED figure. And actually, I wouldn't have minded that as well because I'm just like, I kind of feel like it could have even been like a cool tech moment where we see her kind of engaging with the LED screen. Like, and that would have been to me equally as cool. Um, uh, oh, someone commented that they look like the Russian group, like I'm not going to say the P word, but like the Riot group, like from Russia. Actually, they do like with the mask over them. And I was also thinking of like Camphor Drops, the Danish artist. I think Camphor Drops is Danish. But again, the color scheme of what the dancers are wearing, I think could be better. Any more? So Miles says, I think it will qualify, but left hand of the scoreboard with Flo Rida, right hand would just seen it. Yeah, because this is just a strong year, but honestly, I think that there are people who will just love the song and they'll love kind of the pop culture moment of Flo Rida on the stage. So I actually think that it still has the potential well, I think it has with even if it wasn't him there live, I would have almost liked to have seen them as a backup use what the video screen interaction could have been. Because I actually think that again, that would have been a cool tech moment. A cool tech moment on the stage. And we've got so much technology that we could use at our hands. Odorin says, Alesia, what do you think about this neon blue and pink thing? So I talked about this in one of the other streams I did, because we have seen lots of pink and blue throughout. Even in semifinal 1, we saw it. Here's the thing. I think in theory, yes, we want to see like different colors in each performance and like all of this pop. But I do think with the television show, in theory, it sounds like that could be a good thing. And I think in practice, the final product could end up being slightly overwhelming and jarring for a viewer at home. So I do think there have to be some cohesive elements visually that run throughout the show to tie everything in, because even though, yes, individual acts are performing, I do think that there has to be some level of cohesion, I think, for the viewer to go from song to song. And if it was just like drastically different from each entry, I think it would make for not that good of a viewing experience. Like I think I said that at first, that I wanted, like, why isn't everything different? But then thinking about it, it's like, no, we kind of got to have some level of an element. P. Vasiak, is San Marino a strong opener for the show? I think so. Honestly, though, I might have put not Poland. I might have put Serbia at the start of the show. Like, and we'll get to Serbia at the end. I'm going to go in order, and we've only talked about San Marino. So let's move. Oh, Maddie says, Alesia, what do you think that almost everyone has 4 dancers? Well, I think a lot of people have 4 dancers because they don't all have to have backing vocalists. And so it's like, okay, now we can have like a little bit more dancers than maybe what we could have had in the past, where you would see some countries with just 2, or even like 3, kind of creating like the diamond. Let's move on to Estonia. The vocal wasn't perfect this run, but I'm not worried. It definitely will be. He's got like a white shirt unbuttoned and the bow tie is loose. He looks good. They're creating this sort of thunderstorm on stage to kind of talk about this. And honestly, Estonia looks really good. I do think, unfortunately, now with this running order, I do think that Estonia will likely be forgotten. I'm not expecting to see Estonia qualify at this point, but I do think that it'll sound good. I think the way that they've staged it is nice. And it's weird. I think I said this in my short reaction. The moments where, because Estonia does have some wide shots, but I think it actually works for this song because, Uku's kind of having this this song and it's like a breakup and everything. And I think the isolation and this storm around him actually looks good because it's not like we have wide sweeping shots of the arena like we do with Azerbaijan's performance. We really have a wide sweeping shot of the stage and it's just filled with these LEDs. AA asks, Alesia, do you think Uku could do better if he copied his staging from last year? No, no, no. This staging is definitely better. ESC Connor, Estonia's lack of movement really bothers me. But you know what? Uku isn't a dancer and everything. And I actually, again, I like sort of him standing in the middle. I just think it works for this song. Ultimately, I think it works. Vulcan, Aliot, the snippets from the Eurovision channel does not represent the real staging of the entries like camera angles and other special effects. That is true. That is true. And Ahmed says, Estonia's staging looks too simple, to be honest. The thing is, it's good enough. It's good enough, and it fits the song. But again, ultimately, I don't see Estonia advancing, even though I think it is still a clean performance. Another note that I have for Estonia is I wish the moon looked like a moon. It just is like a white circle behind him. And it's like all the other visuals feel so real. The clouds sort of coming in around him, the lightning. And so that just feels like kind of glaring. So let's make the moon look like a moon. And there was a beautiful moment where they shot him from above and you see him touch the ground, and the ground is like filled with clouds, and the clouds turn from like gray, black, blue to like this red. It's a moment and it looks very good. But again, I don't think Estonia will be advancing. Let's move on to Czech Republic. I love his blonde hair. I loved his styling. You know, he had a gold jacket on. He had basically a sort of embellished tracksuit with like little glitter elements on it. He looked really good. We do have the kaleidoscope LEDs that we sort of had in the music video. They're bringing dancers on stage, and I deeply don't feel that we need dancers in this performance. I think we would have been better off keeping it on Benny, and if we were going to have a dancer, I would have liked a female dancer, and throughout the song, he's kind of like trying to woo her and win her over, and sort of like a cute, like think a little bit like a modern day, more urban, you're the one that I want. I think that would have been really cool staging. I think that would have been really cute. I think it would have been memorable. It would have told the story of the song. It would have enhanced it, added a different element to it. This is why people need to start paying me to do staging, because I think that concept will be better than the concept that we're getting. But ultimately, Czech Republic is still qualifying. Czech Republic is still going to qualify, I feel. I feel that they will be in the final. Actually, another staging concept. Thank you, ESC Ariel. Thanks for keeping us informed and looking good doing it. Thank you. But also ESC Ariel, we're going to have to fight because Benny is my man. He's mine. He's mine. Yeah, may I had him once, but I got him all the time. Okay, yeah. But thank you so much. So the other staging concept that I think would have been really great, I don't know, like y'all had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, the beginning of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, now this is a story all about how my life got twisted. So, and Will Smith is sitting in the chair and it sort of spins around and we have the kaleidoscope. I was like, it would be so dope to see him like with the kaleidoscope all around him. And then little moments of where maybe they're just filming him from above and he spends a bit of time like on the ground while they have LEDs like all around him, creating the illusion that he's moving around and just solo on the stage. I think that would have been super dope. Again, this is why delegations need to start paying me, because I've got great staging concepts that honestly, both of the staging concepts I had, I think would have been stronger than what we're getting, because we don't need dancers. But I do think that they're using the dancers to create that hype party energy that we would have had if we had a full arena. Odorin, Czech Republic was a bit underwhelming, though I love the song, but the staging was lacking. I think when he is doing it full out, it will feel very different, because a lot of this is just him connecting with us and showing his charisma. And I think it will end up coming through. Oh, someone said, Alesia, so sad Benny got rid of the dreadlocks because of Jengu. I don't think that he got rid of his dreads because of Jengu. Like, did he say that? I don't think that that's what happened. Mr. Johnny says, Omaga was never a hit for me and the staging didn't help changing my mind. But the thing is, I think more people like it than don't. And I think people at home, because people in the bubble didn't like Friend of a Friend and thought that it wasn't going to qualify. And then it did easily. So I think I still have faith that there are going to be people at home who are like, this is dope. And again, there's nothing really like it. I do think K Mama would have been stronger because it really is so distinct. So I think K Mama would have just been really distinct. Sergio says, give Alesia some money, delegations. What are you doing? I mean, they really do. I've got great concepts. Juan says, I think Benny would be able to carry the performance alone. I do too. I really do too. And I think we could have not even given him a lot of choreo and just had him be in strategic positions and kind of do that. Like I said, that effect with him like on the ground or against an LED, creating that kaleidoscope vibe, like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now this is a story. And that could have been a dope reference. You know, people need to pay me. And then also my other concept of him, like sort of like doing like a You're the One That I Want, you know, following each other around and him trying to woo this girl. It would have been cute. It would have been endearing. Jippy E, the backing dancers have no correlation between them and they look cringy, like they shouldn't be there. Another thing I would say about the backing dancers is I don't know if this was their styling, but this need not be their styling. / like if they have like the girls need to have a pop-up color top. So go on down to your local H&M and get like a blue shirt, get a purple shirt. The dudes, we need more of a pop of color. They cannot be in black and gray dancing behind him, like, and being hyped. Like we need that pop of color in their outfits. I'm not saying the whole thing needs to be fluorescent, but we need an actual pop of color. So actually like, you know, a solid would be nice. Alesia, Benny's dancers opaque him. They distract attention from him and they are better. They're better looking than him. Oh, Benny is cute. Benny is cute. Don't come for my man. Someone asked if I'm in Rotterdam or if I'm at home. I am at home. Laura, Omaga is really immediate. I believe it can easily qualify. I do. I'm feeling hope in Czech Republic. So just any of the questions of, with what I saw today, do I feel that Czech Republic still has the opportunity to qualify? I do. I still believe in it. But again, I deeply, deeply feel that I would have staged this totally differently. You know, I think I have better ideas. I think my ideas are better. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to Greece. Let's move on to Greece, y'all. My girl Stefania did it today. Go on, Greek fans who are watching this, you can just go on and get your phone out and start clipping this to put the snippets of what I'm about to say on Twitter. I'll give you a minute. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Stefania was our best dressed today. And look, I loved what Elena had on and I love what Natalia had on. I think those were cute outfits too. But Stefania's look today was my favorite look. The color of that royal purple with sort of the matte reflective glitter. She looked like a pop star. Impeccable, impeccable styling. Impeccable styling. Lucia, Greece gives me Selena vibes. Yes. And also, it looks very similar to Beyonce had this royal blue bodysuit that she wore, I think, in one of the tours. I think it might actually be the same designer. The one who designed Stefania's outfit. It looks so good. Brado says, could Greece outshine Czech Republic? I think that they are so different. Like, you know, with Benny being a guy, I think that they really complement each other more than one outshining each other. Now, if Natalia was next to Greece, then I would be worried. because then I think Natalia might get a little bit outshined by Greece. But I think where Greece is, she's right in a good spot. Yes. Sergio, the ESC channel preview for Greece is not doing anything for me. Not sure how it looks with the camera angles. Exactly. They are, so the dancer, so let me break down. She's got a purple glitter cutout bodysuit that was amazing. We have a green screen where the dancers, it almost looks like she's sort of dancing with herself. It reminds me of Just Dance. And I play Just Dance. So anyone who follows me on Instagram will see sometimes like at home, I just play Just Dance by myself. And she wasn't really singing full out, but and I could tell she was kind of marking, but she did sort of go to hit some of her full notes. They have this cityscape LED where there are moments where it's like she's dancing with herself and the dancers are sort of, all you see is like their t-shirts. So it's like they're not there. All you see is like a moving t-shirt and like hat and stuff. And like, I think the shoes you can see, and they're green screened out. So it's like she's dancing with kind of these, like, not really shadow figures, but like you just see her dancing with like a jacket. It's an amazing, amazing effect. People at home are not going to forget this performance. People at home are going to be like, oh, wow, what's happening? People who thought that Greece was going to like shock non-qualifier can cut it out with that because it's not happening. It's just not happening. Greece is qualifying. Greece might come top 10 at the final. It's just great. There's a moment where she is like spinning in the midst of this seascape and sort of taking flight. It's amazing. It's amazing. And someone said, Raven said the outfits are this year on point. They really are. And I'm so happy to see that. Renato, I'm very happy that Greece did it right this time. Yes, me too. Vulcan, do you know what they meant with never before seen on the stage? Yes, the shadow effect that they're doing, where basically the dancers are there, but they're sort of green screened out. So you just see, like, I don't know how to describe it. Think about like Just Dance, how when you watch Just Dance, like, you don't see the dancers' faces. It's like just their like jackets and like clothes are highlighted. That's basically what's happening. So while Stefania is dancing, she is with a dancer, but you don't really see the dancer. All you see is like this moving jacket and hat next to her. So it's the illusion that she's dancing with someone, but she's sort of dancing alone. It's amazing. Georgios, I was a bit worried for Greece, my country, when I saw the running order, but Alesia, you are almost always right, and I believe you. And now I'm not worried anymore. I don't think any Greek fan should be worried at this point. Mr. P10, best of the day for Greece? Probably the biggest surprise of the day. Maybe the best of the day. Maybe actually Greece was the best of the day. Now, Greece has a very technical staging, and I do feel like Stefania was definitely not 100% comfortable with everything, and that's fine because this was a first rehearsal, and I know that they will have her in the gym, you know, really getting comfortable in that outfit, in the shoes to do this dance, so I feel very confident in it. I mean, she just looks like a pop star. And my biggest note was like, if there's ever a moment on stage that she feels like, oh, I might not do this dance move, then don't. Because really, for the most part, she's in the middle. You don't really have to do the synchronized, you know, dance moves. You've got two people flanking you on the other side. It'd be different if maybe it was like kind of off center. Then it's like, it creates this illusion that you should be doing what the people next to you are doing. But since you're right in the middle, you could just strike a pose, stand there, and sing out the note. So I think when in doubt, you know, just stand there, look cute, and sing it. And her vocal was good today. She wasn't always singing full out, but her vocal was good. And I think for the rest of the rehearsal, she doesn't even need to sing out, really. Go on and save your voice. Koino says, they said that there are more things coming. They brought extra lights. There might be. There might be. Left says, where do you see Greece ending up in the final? Top 10, at least. Yeah, so I'm going to move on. Let's talk about Austria. Yes, let's talk about Austria. Austria's staging was beautiful, but Austria does tend to stage very well. We're talking about Austria now, y'all. It starts off very intimate, really, really professional, clean lighting. The word that I would use to describe Austria's run through today is tasteful. Very tasteful, very classy. Yeah, very tasteful, very classy. Let me hop into the comments. The second Cherry Song Contest, which of these songs would definitely qualify from semifinal one, and who would they knock out? Well, Greece would definitely qualify in semifinal one and would definitely knock out Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan wouldn't even be a thing because of just the tech that they're using, I think. And obviously Iceland would knock out people. I don't know who they'd knock out. Whoever is on the cusp would be knocked out. Well, but I wouldn't want to take any of these people over to semifinal one because semifinal one is already a bloodbath. Let's go back to Austria. Don says Austria always uses the stage and lights to their advantage. They really do. Someone had said that they really weren't using the LEDs, but they are. So it starts off very well lit, very intimate. His vocal obviously was good and will be good on the night, so we don't have to worry about that. Vincent is a vocalist. So again, we don't have to worry about that. There's a moment where he's coming down this runway, very Cesar Sampson in the idea of there's sort of like a platform raised up and also kind of simplistic. I mean, Caesar, like, it wouldn't be right letting you go is clearly the far superior song. But I do think Vincent Bueno actually has a little bit more charisma than Cesar Sampson a little bit. And I do think when Vincent is singing, you believe him. I like the way that they use the lighting, but then at the end of the song, they sort of have this pulsating orange beam that comes out to match the lights that are jutting out right next to him. The staging is beautiful. It's immaculate. Someone's asking me, what about Serbia? Serbia performed last, so I'm going to get to Serbia a little bit later. Ahmed, Austria is very underrated and tasteful, but in this year's contest, it'll be forgettable. And ultimately, I do think that Austria following Greece, I think gets muted. Yeah, but I will get to Austria's advantage. And because Austria, even though it's going to be slightly muted just because of what Greece is doing on the stage, and honestly, Austria might act as a nice breath. But I do think this year in the contest, I do think people at home are seeking something a little bit different. Yeah, so Vincent asked, do you think Austria will qualify based on the rehearsal? I am still not thinking, if Austria qualifies, it will be very borderline. Especially thinking of the songs that we have coming tomorrow and the running order. The running order is really not helping Austria. So although Austria maybe was better than expected, but it's hard for me to say that Austria was better than expected because Austria really does always stage pretty well. And like I said, the song is providing a breath and it's a good quality song. It's not a song that I necessarily want to listen to right now. I'm just not in that space. But I do think that it is a good, competent song and juries will try to save it. Juries are definitely going to throw some. I could see Austria being in some juries' top 5. I could, but I think the televote will ultimately forget it a little bit, especially with some of the heavy hitter ballads that we have coming up. Ahmed said, I can see it qualifying over Albania. I think I said that in my stream that I was like, Austria might ruin it for Albania, but I do think that Albania is going to give us some really nice staging. And I think that we kind of need that ethnic traditional song, and we don't have that this year. And I do think people tend to come to Eurovision and expect to hear that. And I think people will actually, I think juries will give Albania some love, but I definitely think that televote will respect it and shine for it too. Yeah, so let's move on because Eurovision USA says, what do you think of Poland staging? And Poland was the next country up. So we are going to be talking about Poland. Poland is also pulling on the pink and purple LED stuff. In the LEDs, he's also featuring some clips from the music video. It does sort of have that Tron-like grid feel. We've got 4 male dancers and Rafael is actually doing some dance moves that I don't think he necessarily needs to be doing. The vocal was not good today. He was off key at times. He then also was out of time a lot. And then at the end, he was doing ad libs. And like I say all the time, ad libs are by definition additive. So if you're not going to hit them and they're not working, then don't do them. He needs to let those ad libs go because this song is not going to be qualifying. So let's just make it at least, let's just make it a strong performance, even though it's not qualifying. And they do have pyro, but I've said this before. Pyro can do a lot, but it can't save an entry. I do like the styling of the dancers with the white suits, and they've got the hand lights going on. Again, ultimately, I don't think that Poland will be qualifying. This is probably the weakest rehearsal for Eurovision I think I've ever seen, because there was a lot going on. Like, we needed to fix the vocal. We need to rearrange the backing vocals, coordinated with him. We needed to clean up some of the camera angles, and we needed to rethink, I think, some of the placing of it. And Rafael needed to he needs to decide whether he wants to dance or just walk and stand in place. And honestly, I don't even think he should dance. I think that he should just walk and stand in place and let the dancers do the dancing. Yes, let's hop into the comments. Greg says Alesia would have ate this year. Husseini says he looks so different without the sunglasses. Oh, that's the other thing. I think it's actually good that he takes the sunglasses. He has them on at the beginning and then he takes them off because we need to connect with him. And he's actually a good looking guy, and you can't really tell that when he has the sunglasses on. So it's good that he starts off with them, takes them off, and then puts them back on. It's really great. And someone said Poland is here to save Spain from coming last place. That would be if they qualified, and Poland's not qualifying. Yeah, let's move on to Moldova. Moldova is also pulling in some of the Tron LEDs, except they're pink. And I don't know who okayed that, but either Poland or Moldova is going to have to change their LEDs. And honestly, I'm hoping it's Moldova. I think that Moldova's performance would look much better with just like a plain colored LED, kind of like in the music video, how we had that pink background, blue, just having those pops. The dancers are shirtless, but have suits on. We have the same choreography from the music video. Natalia's giving us a very Kylie Minogue-esque kind of song and styling. She looks great. I will say, though, the shoes I don't think are the right shoes for the stage. They look really good. They look really cute, but I think they might just be, they're stilettos, and I think she needs a chunky heel. I mean, you're on stage and she does have to do choreo, and for one, I wouldn't want her to get hurt. And for two, I think just to aid her comfort, a thicker heel would give her more support. But we've got the pink and blue, the pink, it's more like pink and black as opposed to the pink and blues purple staging that we've been getting. It's more pink and black, but I do think coming after Poland, the LEDs look kind of similar, which I don't think is good. Oh, and just to go back to Poland, the other reason why Poland's vocal seems, and this is like an advantage for Austria, if the vocal is not fixed, then it's like a nice moment for Austria, because then it's sort of like, oh, well, that guy last who could really sing, and then what's going on right here for Poland. So if his vocal does need to be maybe slightly stronger, just based off the fact that, Vincent, a vocalist, is kind of singing his face off right before him. Yeah, so Eurovision USA, Moldova's rehearsal has nice dance moves, but the outfits don't really fit and the graphics are just bland. Well, the outfits fit. I think the outfits actually do look really good. To me, though, we need the kitsch moment. And if I were Moldova, the change that I would do is put those ice cream cones in the LED. Take out the B-roll from the music video of the ice cream cones, the moment where she's sort of living in Candyland, and have that be the backdrop. Because the Tron background is not really working, especially given what Poland's doing. And Moldova, because they've made it so slick and professional, it lost a little bit of the kitsch that I think would secure a qualification. The kitsch would secure a qualification. Let me hop into these comments. Piva Siak, does Natalia look stiff? She did on some pre-contest performances. No, but I do think she would feel more comfortable with heels that are thicker. What else? KSESC, do you think Moldova could be a shock non-qualifier? I think without the kitsch element, Moldova has put themselves in jeopardy, but I do think the song is so booming that it might still stand out. So Mike Crystal says Moldova usually goes all out with over-the-top staging elements, and this was not the year to tone it down. I agree. This was not the year to play it safe with the staging. People really need something to grab onto. This is a strong, strong Eurovision year. Jonathan says in Moldova's performance, I feel like we need some more sugar. Exactly. I think if the LED, I'm just telling you, Moldova, if anyone knows the Moldovan team or wants to clip this and tweet at some of the Moldovan folks, this is the moment to start recording. I'm gonna give you a minute. I'm gonna go. Moldova needs to add in some of the elements from the music video in the LEDs. I think if they just clip the music video B-roll of Natalia in the Candyland air, like time frame, and just a loop of the dancing ice cream cones, that would change this performance so much. It would add that little wink to it that I think the music video and the song ultimately is giving us. We need that. So yeah, what? Ahmed says all the up tempos being in the first half had me worried that the ballads are going to be more remembered. I don't know. I think tomorrow we're going to have the same thing where we're going to be kind of, I think, bridging some of those in. Oh, wow. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much. Novika Simic, love you. Oh, you're so sweet. Do you think Serbia can be in the top 10? Well, let's almost we're almost at Serbia. So let me talk about Iceland and then Serbia closed out and then we can do a short Q&A. So Iceland, I just want to tell folks, Iceland could still win. Iceland could still win. There's something really kitsch. Iceland has that kitsch element that Moldova kind of sacrificed in this slick presentation. If there's something really endearing about the song, definitely watch my reaction. I talked a little bit more about it. Roderick says Iceland seems almost a bit overproduced. It's not. And the thing that I think they can do a little bit more, it does still feel really whimsy. It still feels really novel. People are going to remember it. And I don't think juries are going to blank it. Iceland, let me get in the comments. Tree, Iceland gave the winner vibes today. They did. Watching it, I was like, oh, they can do it. They can do it. Hussein says, I like the rounded piano. Yes, we get like an OV moment. The thing is, there's so many kitsch elements. From the sweatshirts they're wearing, to the keytar circle moment, to the video game elements behind them, to the choreography. There's so many things that people can latch onto with this, not to mention the fact that this song is a heartfelt song rooted in reality. It's great. What is this? Laura, bigger winner vibes than anyone until now. Sergio, I'm glad Dottie is in the Eurovision family. Jamie says Iceland's entry has the warmth and kitsch that I feel it can appeal to a wide range of voters. I agree. Georgios says, I didn't Think About Things at all, but I really like 10 years. And honestly, I would be fine with it winning. Me too. Lev Patan says the odds are in Iceland's favor, coming behind. Ahmed says, do you think that televoters would know about the backstory? I mean, honestly, after Eurovision 2020, Dottie was probably the biggest story out of that last year. And from what I've heard, he's like sold out concerts in Europe. And even in a lot of places where Eurovision isn't that popular, people do know him. And I mean, look, commentators do talk at the beginning. And I think that they're going to say either he was the front runner last year, which is like a thing. They're going to say Iceland has never won, which is a thing. They're going to say last year his song was about his, his daughter, and his wife is in the band and she's pregnant this year. All of those things I think are things that help to contextualize the performance even more. But I do think even if you didn't know those things, it still feels really strong. Luke Smith, Iceland televote winner and Malta jury winner. That sounds like it makes sense to me. All right, let's just talk about Serbia, and then I'll just hop into a quick chat. And while I've got 418 people watching right now, I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. I started my YouTube channel so I could talk to people. I was writing about Eurovision before, and I really felt like I was writing about it, but I couldn't have an opportunity to have these conversations and talk with folks. And so I'm so happy to have the space to do that. And the only reason I can do that is because y'all are here and y'all are watching. So if at this moment you're in the chat and we're talking and you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I want to talk to you. And the beauty of my channel is you really don't have to agree with me. You have to keep it respectful. And I will try to keep it respectful. And I always try to keep it respectful. And that's my aim. But we don't have to agree. This really is a conversation. And I love Eurovision. And one of the best things about Eurovision is we can all like different things. And then we get to see who wins. Yes, so let's talk about Serbia, but I'm going to hop in the comments. So Lo Lazo, do you think Serbia is going to have a big impact on the televoting? I don't know. I feel like it's going to be memorable. The way that they stage this looks really good. It looks really slick and professional. It doesn't look overwhelming because some people were thinking it was going to be messy, and it just wasn't. It looked like a bona fide girl group getting on the stage and performing a song. It looked really, really good. It looked really, really good. Okan says, is there anyone better than Serbia today? I would say the standouts from today, for me personally, the standouts today were Greece, definitely. Iceland, definitely. And actually Serbia to a certain degree, because I was expecting it to be this really colorful staging, like almost sort of like we're in the middle of a fiesta or carnival. And it really was like, no, like girl group getting out here, loca, like party it up. Like that was really like what I saw on the stage. Mr. Python says better vocally than expected, in my humble opinion. Andre thinks that Serbia will flop. I don't think so. It's just something about, and I think the running order is actually helping it too. Because people, they're going to be glued to the TV after Iceland, and I don't think that they're going to depart with Serbia. I think Serbia pulls them back in. So yeah. Yeah, I think Serbia is actually probably going to do really well. Okay, so Demetrius, what about Iceland be the favorite of today's rehearsals? Well, actually, maybe Iceland is the favorite. Iceland because of the heart, but I think Iceland and Greece for different reasons. Greece did this really technical, interesting show, and then Iceland because, folks have just been waiting, I guess, for Dottie to hit the stage and us to see this. And, and with the song being so endearing, I think that that's part of it. Brado, will the juries like Serbia? I don't see it being blanked by the juries because the vocal that I heard, and the stream cut out a little bit, but the vocal I heard was pretty good. And so I don't think, and it did look like a professional stage show. LLAW, could songs in English like Serbia, not in English like Serbia. But the thing is, I think sonically it doesn't have that traditional sound. And I think people will like it. It's just the energy, and then sort of the loca part people can latch on to. Who's saying favorite rehearsal of all the ones who have already performed? I mean, Greece was a standout. That was really like, oh, wow, this is dope. I mean, ultimately, my favorite songs are still my favorite songs. The songs I really have been listening to on a loop. Ukraine, I loved, but I don't even know if it's fair for me to say Ukraine because I already liked the song. You know what I mean? I already liked the song. So no, kind of no matter what they did on the stage, I probably would have still been into it. Um, um, yeah, Cyprus was really clean yesterday. Uh, Trizium, do you think today's outfits were better overall than yesterday? Maybe, but honestly, I feel like everyone has been showing up with the styling. Everyone has looked really, really good. Um, Sarah John Potter, I was a bit confused by Ukraine's staging, but everyone seems to think it was great. So I guess we'll see. They are doing like a ritual a little bit. To me, the only thing in Ukraine's that I would have changed maybe is there were some LED moments that I was like, I don't know if we need this LED moment, but that's me nitpicking. Um, Zoe Doyle, thoughts on Ireland being this year's underdog? Maybe Ireland is an underdog, but the staging is so ambitious. I think it's going to come together. If they execute it, it's going to be a moment on the stage. And I think both juries and televoters will be interested. Who are you most excited about tomorrow? Great question. I think tomorrow, Bulgaria, I'm most curious how they stage it because I do think I talk about sort of the flower analogy of like a performance. Watching a performance should be like a flower blooming. And I think at the end of that song, we see a flower bloom. And I wonder if that flower is not only going to bloom, but then like break off and fly off into the distance. So I wonder about that. And I'm really curious about how Switzerland will decide to stage the show. Yes. Willem, biggest contender for Barbara Dex so far. Maybe probably Seen It and Tix. Yeah. Anna asked my thoughts on North Macedonia. I think it is still not qualifying, but I do love the way that they actually decided to stage it because they actually said, okay, look, we're probably not going to qualify, but we don't want to be forgettable. And we want people to remember it. And I do think that Basil is given a moment to create a lot of intimacy on stage at the beginning of the performance, unlike Slovenia. Slovenia needs that. And one of the things I even said was the way that Austria is staged is almost how I thought Slovenia would be staged. And Vulcan says, but Cenat's outfit is haute couture. I like it. But honestly, like, I think Conan Osiris got Barbara Dex. And I think Barbara Dex has turned into like most memorable outfit, not like the worst one. Like I think some people are saying it's like worst outfit, but I think it's really now evolved into the most memorable outfit. And yes, Cenat's I think is memorable, and Tix is definitely memorable because it's just so, the fur coat. You're gonna remember it, even if you forget the song. You're gonna be like, yeah, that dude with the wings and the coat and the glasses, Luke Smith, am I the only one getting Eurovision 2016 vibes from this year? Such strong pop songs, and I think we have great hosts this year, hopefully. Here's the thing. I have been saying that I do think song-wise, this is the strongest Eurovision year we've ever had. Because there's not a lot of songs. I think there's maybe, wait, is there a song that I hate? There's songs that I don't feel like listening to, but I don't think we have any like bad songs. Where there have been some Eurovision years where it's like, okay, this song is cheap. Like this is a joke. This is cheap. Like cheap music, fast food music, and like, not even any production behind it. And when I say fast food music, I'm not talking about pop music. I'm talking about music where it's just like, y'all just wrote this, in a week. I don't think that we have that this year. I think we have a really nice set of quality songs. But the key element for this to be the best Eurovision show will be how the hosts come together. And I don't know, all the people in the Netherlands are saying that Jan isn't that good or something, or like he's not funny. So he might drag it down for the ladies, okay? He might drag it down for the ladies. Also, I will say one of the things I love about 2016 is it showed that really 2016 showed us, and then really with 2014, you don't need multiple hosts. And I don't know why there's this push to have multiple hosts, because sometimes it ends up being unnecessary, because if the chemistry is not there, it ruins the whole thing. Like the chemistry has to be there. Actually, one of the hosting teams that I liked, because I do feel like there was a large element of chemistry, was Germany. What would that have been? 2011? Um, yeah, Germany. I thought those hosts actually had a nice rapport with each other, but that's so key. Um, ah, so the Nehelina says Jan gives me dad humor. Yeah, and it could go either way. It could be really great or it could not. Um, so yeah, I just want to say thank y'all all for watching. Join me tomorrow. We will get the second half of semifinal 2. And I think the second half, it's so interesting. I feel like the second days of the semifinals have been like kind of stronger a little bit. Well, I don't know. Like I said, today was really like the potpourri. I don't really know what to expect from these folks day. That's sort of what I felt. And honestly, I really am looking forward to seeing what the Big Five does. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. It'll likely be around the same time. I had these scheduled earlier, but we know rehearsals run a little bit long. So tomorrow it'll probably be, I think it's like 11:30 my time. I think that makes sense for me to go live around then. So I hope you all join me then and we'll break down everything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Eurovision 2021 season is finally here. I've been awake for so long, but I love it. So thank you so much for watching.